welcome. This is a stretch class, perfect for after a workout or a tough day, or perfect for a time when you have under 20 minutes and your body just needs some love. So we are going to go ahead and get started straight away in a child's pose. So from a kneeling position, walk your knees towards the edges of your mat. Bring your big toes together to touch behind you. And sit your hips back onto your heels. Crawl your fingertips forward and bring your forehead down to the mat. Beginning to arrive here on this mat, thinking as these four corners of your mat as a little island where you've come to give back to your body for the next several minutes. Not worrying about anything that has happened so far in the day, not fretting about anything that you think might happen in the day, and just giving yourself the gift of being right here, right now. Take a deep inhale through your nose, fill up, drag that breath down into your belly, and take an open mouth exhale, let go. Again, deeper, fuller inhale, and as you breathe that breath in, bring it into the back body and think about it lengthening your crown of your head away from your tailbone. Open mouth, exhale, empty out, let go of anything that will not serve you on this mat. Let's take one more deep round. Inhale, fill up completely, bring in that breath until you feel like you cannot bring in another sip. And then open mouth, exhale, empty out completely until you feel like there is not another drop of air left in your lungs. Seal your lips, inhaling through the nose, filling up completely, and exhaling powerfully through the nose, creating that oceanic-like sound with your breath. And then taking the next few rounds of breath here to lengthen and even it out. So thinking about inhaling for a slow count of 5 or 6, and then controlling that powerful exhale for a count of 5 or 6. On your next inhale, just go ahead and tent up onto your fingertips, lift your forehead, and as you exhale, we're going to thread the left arm underneath the right, coming to rest on the outside of the left shoulder and the left temple. These right fingertips can walk forward, so thinking about lengthening from the fingertips to the shoulder, but continuing to draw that shoulder down and back into its socket. Or you can spider walk them across the mat on a diagonal, and same thing, think about guiding that shoulder down and back into its socket, but also the underarm guides down towards the mat. So you should feel a really nice opening in the upper back here. And then if that left shoulder has started to creep up towards your ear, you can just kind of snuggle it down into its socket. And then stay for a few rounds of breath, just enjoying the stretch. And then on your next inhale, go ahead and just bring that right palm back towards your face. Press into it, unbind, re-extend the arms, and then on your next exhale, we're going to thread the right arm underneath the left. So same thing, we're going to come to rest on the right temple and the outer right arm, but make sure that that right shoulder is hugging down away from the right ear. And then you can walk those left fingertips towards the top left corner of your mat. But as you do so, hug that left shoulder down and back into its socket. Or you can spider crawl those left fingertips over towards the right. But again, as you reach through the fingers, hug the shoulder down and back into its socket, and the underarm spirals down towards the mat. So you feel not only the stretch in the right shoulder, the one that's tucked under, that's threaded, but you feel a nice stretch in the back of that left shoulder as well. Focus in on your breath, again, thinking about even, powerful, steady cycles. And then go ahead and bend into that left elbow. Bring the palm back towards the face. Give a press into the palm. And this time as you inhale, come up into a tabletop, a quadruped position. So stacking our joints, shoulders over wrists, hips over our knees. Spreading into all 10 fingers that are nice and wide. Inhale, cow pose. Drop your belly, lift your gaze. Extend your heart forward and drop your shoulder blades down and back into their sockets. Exhale, cat, tuck, round and curl. Press the earth away with your palms to open up the upper back so that spot between your shoulder blades is lifting up towards the ceiling. And then inhale back to cow. Pull your palms isometrically towards your knees and your knees towards your palms to fire up the core. And then exhale, tuck round and curl. Think about pulling your belly button so far back towards your spine that it creates space between each vertebra. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Let's take 2 more rounds here with your own breath. Moving so slowly, you're using that entire inhale to come into that cow pose. And then you're using that entire exhale to come into cat. Drawing your tailbone towards the mat, your chin in towards your chest. 1 more round. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Coming back to that neutral tabletop. Extend that right leg straight back out of the right hip. Tuck the toes and think about lengthening as far as you can from the right hip to the right heel. And then just pressing the heel towards the mat, towards the floor behind you, just creating a really nice opening in the calf on that leg. Gazing slightly beyond your fingertips. I caught myself gazing back towards those right toes, but there's nothing back there that I need. Just need to gaze forward, keep the neck in line with the rest of the spine. And then we're going to take those right toes up and over to the left. Give a press into the ball mound of that right foot and think about drawing your left shoulder towards your left hip as you gaze back towards the inner heel on that right foot. So like a C shape that we're creating as we draw the left shoulder towards the left hip, we're opening the right side body. And then go ahead and come back to center. And if you need to give the wrists a little shake, you can give the wrists a little shake. And then go ahead and extend the left leg, toes tucked, pressing back through the heel, opening up the bottom of the foot and the calf. Inhaling in that micro movement as you come forward and exhaling in that micro movement as you draw the heel towards the ground. And then keep your gaze just slightly beyond your fingertips to keep your head, neck, and shoulders in a line. And draw your shoulders back away from your ears. And then take the left toes over towards the right, and then think about right shoulder moving towards the right hip, gazing back to find the inside of that left heel, maybe pressing the inside of the left heel actively forward, and then just feeling that awesome opening in the left side body. Checking in with your breathing, slow and steady here. And then go ahead and come back. All right, now we're going to extend the right leg straight out of the right hip, toes in line with the left knee, and then engage your core to come up, stacking head over shoulders, over hips, slight tuck under in the tailbone, hip points face forward, extend the arms out like a T, snuggle the shoulders down into their sockets, but keep the arms pretty active like you're pressing onto a shelf. Take an inhale breath, lengthen your chest up towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, lengthen those right fingertips all the way as far as they can go to the right, and then drop them down to the right shin. Think about spiraling your chest up towards the ceiling, and then of course snuggling the shoulders down and back into their sockets. Use your core to come up through center, lengthen out towards the left. Bring the left palm underneath the left shoulder. Keep the tailbone tucking under and the hip points facing forward. And then reach those right fingertips up and over, creating so much length. I feel such an amazing opening down this entire right side of my body, especially in the hip flexor there. And then on an exhale, just kind of swoop that hand down. And we're going to come into a little flow. So bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Sit your hips back towards that left heel. So this is a nice opener for that right inner thigh and the left quadricep. And then inhale, come back up. And exhale, sit it back. You can begin to walk the fingertips a little bit further forward if that feels good. And then let's do that one more time. Come up, bring the palms back underneath the shoulders, and then exhale, sit it back. You can bring your chin towards your chest. Let your head be heavy. And then inhale, slowly come back up. Let's bring that right foot in, right knee in rather. Walk the hands out about a handprint from where they were, and we're going to give our knees a break. We're going to come up into our first downward facing dog. So creating length from the fingertips to the waist. You can take a nice, deep, generous bend in your knees. Bring your belly back towards your thighs. Keep that length that you just created in the upper body, and then work your heels in the direction of straight towards the mat. But they never, ever have to touch. And let's just take some pedals here with the legs. Stretching the calves some more, stretching the bottoms of the feet, the backs of the legs. And then we're going to come forward, back onto our hands and knees. I'm going to move over this way a little bit so I have some space. I'm going to extend that left foot straight out to the side, toe in line with the right knee. And then we're going to stack, I'm just going to move mine back a little bit. Head over shoulders, over hips. So hips level, tailbone tucks under, hug the shoulder blades in, but lengthen through the fingertips. Think about lifting your waist up and out of your hips. Inhale, and then exhale, reach as far over towards the left as you can. Walk the left fingertips down the left leg, and then bring those right fingertips up. So your chest is spiraling open towards the ceiling. An awesome stretch in these muscles here, the QL muscles, the muscles in the low back on the right side. Keep lifting away from the mat. So 2 points of contact, the sole of the left foot and the left knee and the right knee. But I'm not dumping down, I'm lifting up. So imagine lifting up and out of your hips, and then come back through center, and then bring the right palm to the mat underneath the right shoulder. Check in with the hips, tuck the tailbone slightly under, press the fronts of the hips forward, and then reach those left fingertips over towards the right. And again, I'm not dumping down anywhere, I'm lifting, I'm squeezing my inner thighs. Spiral your chest up towards the ceiling. And then exhale. Bring the hands back under the shoulders. Untuck those right toes. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, sit back. It's a nice deep stretch for the front of that right quad. Inhale, come back up, and exhale, sit it back. Inhale up, and exhale, sit it back. Walk the fingertips forward, but again, shoulders stay down and back into their sockets. The underarms spiraling down towards the mat, getting a nice opening in the upper back as we stretch that right quad and the left inner thigh. Slow your breathing. And inhale, come up. I'm going to bring Your palms back out about a palm's distance from where they were. Tuck your toes, press your hips back towards your heels, and then lengthen into that downward facing dog. So creating space in the upper back. Yes, my shoulders are drawing back and away from my ears, but I'm creating that space in the upper back by looping the underarms down towards the mat. Finding some stillness here. Take an inhale, scoop the low belly in and up, draw the front ribs down. And as you exhale, step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. If you have blocks close by, grab them. You don't have to use blocks. You can come up onto your fingertips. But we're just going to straighten and bend into that right leg, coming into a little lizard flow here. So thinking about drawing the right heel back, pressing the left toes forward, and then come back down. This time we're going to surrender the left knee to the mat, untuck the toes, and then you can bring those blocks onto their sides or bring your arms down to the mat. And we're going to come into that lizard stretch. So I want you to actively think about pressing that right knee forward as you pull the right hip back, and then lengthening the left toes and the tailbone back. So it's a very yin and yang, right? A push and pull, a stretch and strengthen. And then if you'd like, you can come into a quadricep stretch, a corkscrew. Bring your palms back up to the blocks. Keep your left palm on the block. Extend your right arm out with your thumb up like you're going to shake someone's hand, and then follow it back, peel open, kick the left heel in towards the glute, and reach for the pinky edge, the outer edge of that left foot. Spiraling your chest up towards the ceiling. And if you can't reach it, you could use a towel or a belt or something that you have close by to create that extra length. Or you can just keep the foot on the mat and reach the hand back. And coming back to center, we're going to move those blocks forward. Plant your palms, tuck the left toes, step the right foot back, and come back into downward facing dog. Think about pressing the mat forward and away from you as your belly draws back towards your thighs. The backs of the hips draw up towards that point where the wall and the ceiling meet behind you. Take an inhale breath, and as you exhale, step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Grab the blocks. I'm going to keep them on their medium setting. And again, actively thinking about extending that knee forward on the left side and the heel back on the right. Keep your shoulders down and back away from your ears, straighten into the left leg, and then rebend. So as you rebend into that knee, you feel a really awesome opening in the front of the right hip. And as you straighten the left leg, you feel a really awesome opening in the hamstring in the back of the leg. Well, it feels awesome to me. I hope it feels awesome to you as well. And then coming down into that lizard, untuck the right toes. Go ahead and bring the blocks down onto the medium setting, bringing the forearms onto the blocks. And then hugging that outer left knee in, guiding that right hip isometrically forward and the left hip isometrically back. You can hang out here, or if you want to take the corkscrew stretch, extend the left arm out of your left shoulder, thumb facing up like you're going to shake someone's hand. Keep your hip points facing forward, and then extend the fingertips back behind you, so a nice opening in the chest, and then kick the right heel in towards the glute. Snuggle those shoulders down into their sockets, and then you can deepen the stretch by pulling the heel in towards the glute. Keep the low belly active, pull the belly button back in and up, knit the front ribs together, and just breathe. And then when you feel even, go ahead and bring the blocks off off to the front of the mat. Plant your palms, lift the back knees, step the left foot to meet the right. Coming into our final downward facing dog here. Taking petals, finding stillness, whatever your body needs right now. If you're finding stillness, I want you to think about squeezing that yoga block between your upper thighs and guiding it up towards the midline of your body. And then we're just gonna walk through to a seat. And we're gonna come down onto our backs. Hug your knees in towards your chest and just come into a gentle twist. Extend the right arm out to the right. Allow the knees to fall to the left. And I want you to think about creating space in the right side body. So lengthening your head and your shoulder away from your head. And then your gaze can be up or it can be over that right shoulder, whatever feels good to you. And then carefully come onto your back. Rock side to side, neutralize your spine. Extend the arms out like a T, and then this time the knees come over to the right, the gaze is over towards the left, and again, inhaling, thinking about creating space, and as you exhale, twisting, so thinking about drawing those right ribs under your body, belly button up towards the ceiling. And then when you feel even, come back to your back. Hug your knees in. You can bring them in close together or you can draw them out closer towards your shoulders. Just depends on what feels right for you at this moment. Curl yourself up into a tight, tiny little ball. Take the deepest inhale breath that you've taken today and an open mouth exhale as you surrender into your Shavasana. And if you have the gift of time, please pause the video and just allow yourself to be in Shavasana. Be heavy on the mat, take up space. Ready to move on with me, just begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Extend your arms long overhead as you stretch your toes forward. Maybe rock your head side to side. And make your way onto your right side in a supported fetal position. Knees bent, head resting on that bottom bicep, top palm resting on the earth. And just take in a big, deep breath of this feeling that you created on your mat. And doing your best to take it with you off of your mat. Come up to a cross-legged seat. Bring your palms together at heart center and just take a little bow of your head towards your fingertips, thanking yourself for showing up, giving back to your body for all that it does for you. And until the next time that we see each other, friends, take good care of yourself and take care of everyone in your world. I will see you soon. Namaste.